If you want to do something extraordinary with your life, stop asking yourself what the least you need to do is, and start asking yourself what's the most you can bear. Humans are capable of truly unbelievable things, but the reality is, the way that we get better is by going through a simple process of adaptation. But what triggers the adaptation is stressors. It's doing things that are difficult. It's pushing yourself into a state of adapt or die. The body wants to conserve energy. So unless you put yourself in a state where the body absolutely feels like to survive, it must adapt, you're never going to change. And that's why only the most elite people end up achieving at the highest level, because they take the time to shape themselves. They put the energy into getting better. They're willing to suffer. They're willing to push through and persevere. But until you're willing to do that, until you're willing to stop asking yourself what you can get away with and start asking yourself, how far can I go? Just how much am I capable of? And when your fascination becomes that, when you start wondering just how much am I capable of, and every level that you achieve excites you to push harder and go farther and do more and bear more weight, then all of a sudden you really can begin to surpass other people. But it takes that, it takes a total shift of your mindset. You've got to be obsessed with just how far you can go. You have to be obsessed with finding your breaking point and then pushing beyond that. That is how you really begin to take advantage of the adaptation process. That's how you begin to improve. That's how you begin to build your body and build your mind, is to push beyond your comfort zone. That is how you get great. At the end of the day, nobody sat their way to greatness. Nobody sat back and relaxed and became extraordinary. The only people who really achieve, the only way that humans are able to do the extraordinary things that we're able to do, is by going to that breaking point and then beyond. But you have to find something in there that you want that badly. There's no way to just do it. You've got to find something in you that you believe in so much that you're willing to push yourself that hard. So you've got to construct a story about not only who you are, but what you can become. And when that narrative is so compelling that it pushes you forward, then you will have the kind of change that you want in your life. But first, you have to believe that you can do it. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to grind and work. But to do that, to work that hard, to make those kinds of changes, you've got to be willing to test yourself. You've got to be willing to look inside yourself and find out who you really are. You've got to be willing to stare nakedly at your inadequacies and be willing to push through them. You can't pretend. You've got to really look at your results and see if you're making the progress that you want to make. And that's where a lot of people fail. They lie to themselves. They want to get away with something. They want to see if anybody's looking. But the reality is, the only thing that matters in this life, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself? There's no campaigning. There's no convincing anybody. There's only the credibility that you've either earned with yourself or not. And the hard truth is that self-worth comes from doing something worthy. It comes from the hard things. It comes from the suffering. It comes from persevering when things get difficult, to know what you want and to stay that course even when everything else is trying to knock you off. So build that thing in your life, build that belief, know that you can do it, and be willing to go through hell to get to the other side, to get to the person that you were always meant to be. It won't be easy, but it sure as hell is possible. We all need a word of encouragement from time to time. So I want this to be that word. So let me tell you what I know. You can change. No matter what you think of yourself, humans are designed to change. That's what we do. But you have to put yourself underneath tremendous stress in order to trigger that adaptation response. But if you know what direction you want to move in, if you know what you want to become, you can change into that. And so holding on to the fears and the doubts and the worries, they're not serving you, and looping around that mentally and wondering if you're going to make it, and practicing mentally how you would deal with the failure, how you would justify it to people, all of that is stopping you from doing the one thing that actually will work. trying, practicing, training, falling down. Those are the very things you need to do, the very simple act of taking action. That's the thing that you have to focus on. If you do that, then you'll be able to trigger your ability to change. So I don't need you to believe that you're capable of something extraordinary now. And I know in your heart you have that dream. You have that small flicker of a belief that you can do it. That if you just try, that you could figure it out. And that's what I want you to focus on. You could figure it out, not that you already know how to do it. I fully accept that you don't. I fully accept that most of the things that I want to do with my life and will go on to do, I'm not yet capable of. But I so believe in the human ability to change, not even something that's unique to myself, just the human ability to change. That if I simply walk that path of doing, of trying, of failing, and learning, that on a long enough timeline, I will win. So whatever it is that you're thinking about doing right now, I want to be that voice in your head that says you can do it. Maybe not today, but you can do it. You can become capable of that thing that you want, that you so dream about, that would give you that sense of self-pride that you want, that you hunger for. And I will say this, be proud, even if you never reach it, as long as you tried. So go out right now, stop this, stop listening to this, stop whatever you're doing and get out there and try. Do it and remember that it is a process of adaptation. And to go through that process, you must get under stress. It's the only way that you'll grow. But you can do it. You can grow. You can become whatever you want. No one will ever hate you with the intensity that you can hate yourself. And that's why you absolutely must take the time to build your self-worth. And I really wish that building your self-worth was simply as easy as repeating to yourself that you love yourself. But it's not. The reality is, if you want to love yourself, you have to do something that is worthy of that love. You have to do something that you believe in. You have to find a way to build credibility with yourself, to tell yourself you're going to do something and know that you're actually going to see it through. The reality is we're all watching ourselves all the time. We know how we behave. And so you really have to think about that. I want it to be enough. I want it to be enough that you exist. And that you're going to be okay simply because you are. But the reality is we don't look at life like that, and we do judge ourselves, and we do think about whether or not we're following through on the things that we said we were going to do. And it's okay to start small. It's okay not to have a grand dream. It's okay not to be able to do that yet. It is very okay not to be extraordinary. You don't need that to love yourself. But what you do need is purpose. What you do need is to take that time to define what is it that you're trying to do with your life? Why do you matter? What is it that you're going to be able to bring to yourself and to the world? And it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. It has to be something that's true to you. It has to be something that you're willing to commit to. And once you're willing to commit to it, to put in the energy every day to get up and pursue that thing. And again, this is not me. I'm not judging you. I can really tell you, I love you, and it's enough that you just exist. But I know that in your head, in all of our heads, is a voice that says that just isn't true. And so to connect with ourselves and to find that meaning and to develop it, to create meaning in our lives, we have to set an intention and we have to pursue that intention. Start small, know what you want, get out of bed, get after it, set rules for yourself, follow those rules. Once you start doing those simple things, and again, they don't have to be big, but once you start setting a rule, having an intention, following your rules, building towards that intention, suddenly you're going to earn that credibility with yourself. And then all of a sudden, no matter what anybody says to you, and they are going to say negative things, haters are going to come after you, that is just a reality of life, but you will be impervious to that if you have built within you belief
belief that you are worthy because you take small steps every day to do something that means something to you. It doesn't matter what other people think, but it matters a lot what you think about yourself. So every day, earn that worth.